Where the heck am I? What is this place? Oh, hey. I guess you're watching cover stories. Yeah, okay, whatever. Bye. He's so skilled in the culinary arts, his nickname is Beef Chuck Norris. He's the host of Something Smells Funny. He's comedian Scott Wood. He likes to sit through the ending credits in porn movies in hope of a secret ending featuring a Thor reference. He's my good buddy and comedian Jimmy Della Valle. She once took a day off to pamper herself after eating a whole bag of chips that contained the chemical Olestra. She's my co-host and comedian, Melissa Greenberg. Wow, have you ever lost anything in between your car seats and the tip of your finger can barely fill the item with the knowledge that it's lost forever and there's nothing you can do about it? Well, that's exactly what happened to Stephen Thomas, who got locked out of his Bitcoin account and lost a loss that cost him $220 million. I believe we have a clip of him when he found out he lost all that money here. Okay. Yeah. So, let's see. I'll go to you first, Scott. I'm sure you've been locked out of an account. Would it be safe to say that that's why you have to have the same password for every single account you have in history?
I do, Ace. I have to, because last week I forgot the Alamo. So forget about it. I had to go to Enterprise and they sent me over to Dollar. No, but can you believe that? Listen, thank God this guy is single. My wife gets pissed off if I forget her birthday. Can you imagine this? Honey, there's good news and bad news. I remembered our anniversary, but that new yacht and house, I promised, not so much. He's going to kick himself. He's going to wake up in the middle of the night and go, wait a minute, the password was password. So,
that was actually going to...
It was like 25 million, and this guy didn't have a quick second to grab a pen and paper to write that down. Oh, sure, I'll remember it if this ever takes off. He's kicking himself.
That's funny. That's funny you said that. That was going to be one of my questions. Was he going to wake up one night and just be like, "Oh, the password was yeah," and you're right. What if it was his wife's birthday? Like the thought hasn't even crossed his mind.
Or his birthday, something real simple. He's like, crap. But yeah, that's a lot. That's I wouldn't even. The man he's crying. He's crying. He's got to be crying. Who can just say, oh well, I've lost millions because I didn't, I couldn't type something in a quick second. He said he was in college, so he must have been smoking or drinking or something.
Right.
He couldn't remember.
It's funny you say that, Jimmy. So I don't know, because that was going to be my transition, was that he remembered kind of a Rosebud moment. He's in his deathbed and it's just going to click in his head. But so do you ever have to do that though, where you're putting in your password and they tell you it's weak? And like you already have like the entire alphabet with an exclamation mark and it's still weak.
Oh my God. Well, I'll answer that question. And then I have to ask you another thing of the Bitcoin. But all the time. Let's be honest. Do we not, especially during COVID, because we have like went in and we're like looking at every account we've ever used. And I pretty much spend half my day trying to remember my password for something.
Right.
And then I change it. And I change it to, as you said, for week. So let's say it's like happy 1, 2, 3. Like, oh no, you can't do happy 1, 2, 3. So you're like happy 1, 2, 4. They're like, oh, it's already taken. You're like, what? And then you're like, all right, I'm dyslexic. Happy 3, 2, 1. And then they're like,
Right.
And then you're like money sign. Like, and then they're like, if you throw a money sign in anywhere or an exclamation point, it will completely be like strong. Just to let you know.
Yeah.
Little tip. Throw that in.
I do the same thing. I have exclamation points at a lot of my passwords. Yeah. For that reason.
So,
yeah.
I also, because me and my wife watch a lot of Criminal Minds, and we literally get excited. Like if your password's wrong, you're like, all right, okay. I feel like Garcia, I'm like, let me figure it out. And I start, thinking about it. But here's the thing about the Bitcoin. How much was it exactly?
220 million.
So 220 million. Okay.
Yeah.
And he, of course, bought it in college. So it was like 27 cents or something, whatever he got it.
Right.
It's like, this is very easy to figure out. But how do you cash out a Bitcoin? Bit by bit. It's funny. I don't care.
What if his password was Bitcoin? He'd be really kicking himself.
There's no doubt. I remember when I lived in Spanish Harlem. Melissa can represent. So the landlady's daughter was dating this like rich dork from Greenwich, and she's like, hey, and she was all high. She's like, hey, Jimmy, man, why don't you go get us some beer and whatever? And she's like, hey, Peter, give him your ATM. And I'm like, really? So he like gives me the ATM. I'm like, oh, I don't know. What's your code? He goes, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I don't forget. Swear to God.
Right.
So it's exactly what I took out. I took out $1,234 of his account. I did. I don't care. I'll admit it.
Melissa, just as probably a mean-spirited question for this guy, but his name is Stefan. Don't you think with a name like that, he deserves to like forget his password? Like just change it to Steven like a normal person. Why is it Stefan?
I don't know, but he's not married because he's way too calm about that shit. Can I tell you, like, all the little things that I get, like, you forgot to leave the back door, unlock the back door. Oh, you all the little things that I get mansplained and nitpicked around here. Love him, hi, honey. But oh my God, like I would like for the rest of my life when he says you left your car door open. Like 220 million, like,
right.
But like I think like I could probably like cheat on him.
Right. Yeah.
In front of them.
Yeah.
But my kids play these games and they're like free to play. But they're 7, so they can kind of read and they go, Mom, this thing has dollars on it. I'm like, don't click it. Don't look at it. I'm not spending real money to buy fake money. But here's the thing I don't get about Bitcoin. Like, you had to buy the thing, like from a Bitcoin bank, right? Which is probably really small because you don't need a lot of real estate to hold nothing.
Yeah.
Imaginary money, right? It's not like a vault or a safe so just this little bitty bank like this. And then like there's just no customer service like to authenticate yourself or like no bank of Bitcoin. How does it
I think that's how it works though. I think it's literally that like there's no way you can, if you forgot your password, there is nobody there to tell you like, okay, we'll send you an email with a reset. There is no, that's the agreement. So it's like literally you forgot. That's it. You're done.
This is a man does this. This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. Like a woman.
I don't think a woman would do it.
No. And they would have like some fail safes.
Yeah.
Like here, I wrote it, I put it under a rock in the front yard, like there'd just be ways to.
Yeah. And the worst part was they were going to resend it to him, but he couldn't remember his email.
Because it was probably like ix.netcom.com or Errol's.
He He didn't have enough exclamation points.
We better move on to some world news here. Some Express news from around the globe. Espresso News with Melissa Greenberg.
Okay, this story comes from the Netherlands. Indy Mellink, a Dutch card fan, was explaining a game to her cousins last summer when she asked herself, why should a king be worth more than a queen? And the 23-year-old forensic psychology graduate, encouraged by her father, decided it was time to break with the centuries-old tradition of sexual inequality and playing card decks that rank men above women. So she redesigned a deck of cards and took out the hierarchy, like the royal, the king, queen, and she came up with, I have a picture of it, gold, silver, and bronze. It's actually kind of awesome looking. Oops, wait, hang on. Can you see them? Kind of like,
yeah.
Yeah, so she changed them, and it's a genderless deck. They've already sold like 1,500 decks of them. Everybody's buying them up. Yeah, and yeah, the government's just, the politicians and whatnot are like, yeah, it's a nice thing, and I don't know if it was necessary, but thanks for that.
Thanks for the deckless pack of cards, huh?
Genderless. So I guess the idea is that it's subliminal, that right. She just didn't like the message being sent, and she fixed something we didn't know was broken. It wouldn't have even occurred to me.
What were those cards? G, S, and what?
Gold, silver, and bronze.
Gold, silver, bronze.
So there's like a bunch of gold bars.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
do you think, Jimmy?
Yeah, Jimmy's a card guy. He would know more about this.
So
those are nice.
Silver and bronze. Yeah, it's a great, it means she's going to be a degenerate. That's what it means. I wish I created something like that.
Right?
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Jimmy. Isn't the king, queen, and jack equivalent?
Yes.
Yeah. So this
but unless you're playing poker, the king is higher than the queen. And
as far as like when let's say you have
you're talking about blackjack. In blackjack, it's just a 10.
Okay, that's what. Okay, so I'm used to. Yeah, that's what I'm used to. That's what I'm thinking is 10s. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah.
Does it mean anything? What about when you're playing Go Fish? Is Old Maid mean anything?
Oh God, she's got to redesign that. I thought it was interesting. I didn't think it was particularly challenging for the comics, but I thought, and again, they're, people my age and whatnot, like she's 23. So she's super.
Oh, so you can get the vaccine now, right? Oh, no.
Yeah.
Look, how great is Scott? That was so Home Alone or Homo Alone. I don't know what that was because the lady.
It's genderless alone. All right.
Genderless. There you go. Oh.
Yeah, but she's 23 and she's in tune. She's woke, right?
Here's a quick hint for you guys with kids. We just sent both of ours to a third world country because we can actually take care of them for $1 a day. So if you need to.
And with Bitcoin, you could do it for less.
In my writers group, we wrote this joke this week. You got to come back in, Ace. Scott, you should come in. Melissa, never. No, listen, you're welcome. But you have to really, focus and everyone has to focus.
My little woman brain would never be able to.
No, there's a lot of women. I had a lot of women in there this week. And we wrote this great joke about how you used to be like junior miss when you were younger, right? Your clothes were like junior miss, and then it's adults, and now it's just ma'am. You're like, I thought it was a great joke we wrote for this one comedian lady,
Miss Lady,
ma'am. Just the ma'am section. Do you have a ma'am section?
Yes, it's in men's.
Exactly.
Just put clothes.
Right.
Clothing. That's it.
So is the mammogram going to change too? Is that what's going to...
Yes, it's a manogram.
Yeah.
A manogram. Oh my God. Imagine that. They take our balls and
Oh, yeah.
It's the least we could do.
It's the least you could do.
Well,
I
I'm kind of used to
always thought
sitting on them all the time.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
I always thought I thought a mammogram was like a singing telegram service by large-breasted ladies.
Exactly.
I am the
Mammogram.
singing telegram.
I'm
Mammogram.
Here for your mammogram.
Never gonna happen.
Hey, a dame. Yeah.
Okay. All right, we tried.
Please, Melissa, tell me your next story is about pure racism. Let's go right into that too. Why don't we just cover all the subjects?
It's always something inedible. Okay, yeah. Overcoming the yuck factor, yellow grub becomes Europe's first insect food. So they've basically cleared the way for mealworms to find their way into the food supply. Europe's pasta bowls and dinner dishes, they've become the first insect approved in the region as human food. So people, it won't be long before people are able to pick up packaged crickets and stuff like that. Apparently mealworms are rich in protein, fat, and fiber, and they're likely to be the first of many insects to feature on Europeans' plates in the coming years. Because I guess we've run out of crap to eat.
Oh, they have all that still at Denny's.
Aw. That's gross. But yeah, so they've cleared the way for that and several other insects that are going to start to make their way into the novel food supply. Oh, in case you don't know what a mealworm looks like, well, it looks kind of like fries here. But
yeah,
those aren't fries.
They are at Denny's.
Oh, not Denny's, man.
I asked the Denny's waitress, "What do you recommend?" And she said Applebee's.
I will never go to Applebee's again. I got so sick one time. That's it.
Applebee's and Chili's gives me food poisoning like every time.
I've been choking lately, literally, on lots of things. Like turkey, I ended up in the hospital on Christmas in the last couple of years. But the first time it actually happened a couple of years ago, I choked outside a Jack in the Box. And I dressed up to go to like a movie premiere, all dressed up.
Look at us all trying not to say anything.
I know. I know.
No. Outside of a Jack in the Box. I'll suck your dick, man. For a junior. Can I get you? I can just get a junior.
I was just like choking and then like throwing up at the end of the drive-thru. So if you're picking up your food and driving through the drive-thru, and there's a lady at the end of the drive-thru hurling. That's me.
Well, you guys are all LA. Are you LA born, Scott?
Yeah, born and bred Southern California.
Okay. So in New York, as we watch Menace to Society, when you go to that like Jack in the Box and they freaking pull the gun and put it, I can't go here in the Valley late at night without thinking someone's just be like, "Give me our food." You know what I mean? Like, that never happens in like anywhere but LA. Like I'm kind of crazy.
Yeah, you're right. People here rob you for the weirdest, dumbest things. Yeah, and it's like you're right. Hey, I like your air freshener. Give me that air freshener. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Especially during COVID, 2 guys jumped me for a Kleenex.
Did you give it to him?
Oh, what did I ever? Speaking of Bitcoins,
what's the weirdest thing?
The password is schnapps. He should know. He was in college. It should have been Jack Daniels.
What's the weirdest thing you ever ate, Scott? Like that you had to try?
Anything my mom made, because how do you burn Jell-O? My meatloaf moved. I try everything, especially when I did the cruises. I mean, I love everything. I love when I was in Hong Kong performing years ago, that stuff, that dim sum, some is good, some is, the octopus is the real. They don't even deep fry that stuff. It's just with the suction cups and all that right on there.
It's moving.
Yeah, it's coming out of the cup. Oh yeah. Yeah. What the heck? It's trying to attack me. But no, I eat snails, the escargot. I'll try anything, and not like my kids who are like, I don't like the way it looks. I'm not even touching that, I don't know.
What about you, Jimmy? You're in Brooklyn. There's like oxtail and all kinds.
Well, here's the thing about as you're talking about, like he just mentioned about his kids. I mean, like I literally have friends that I'm no longer friends with because I've gone to their house with their parents, and the mother comes over. You know, she's making a pasta, and she gives me a vegetable, and she's he don't eat vegetables. Like, the fuck are you talking? He doesn't eat that. She's like, no. And I go, dude, you got to eat vegetables. Respect your mother, right? And then I remember sitting there one time, and I go, dude, I've had chocolate covered cockroaches. You got to eat a vegetable. And then nobody else would eat for the rest of the night. But it was true, because that's how my mom used to always do it. I'm eating. Why would you talk about diarrhea? I'm like, oh, but you can talk about diarrhea every time I call to say, how are you doing? But I can't say it at the dinner.
Right.
Frowned upon.
Yeah, but no, I'll eat. My wife, of course, Latina, Costa Rican Latina. They have some different, it's not like they're crazy foods or nothing, but she has cultured me. Any girl I was ever with before that, nothing, steak or a burger or whatever, or chicken. This is, she's like, yeah, no, we're going to have this. We're going to try that. We tried horse when I was doing shows in Japan. And I was like, oh, it was awful. It was, and he lost the race. No, seriously. But he did. I should do that. That could be a bit. But no, it was awful. Did you try horse, Scott?
Yeah, and he also lost the race because we ate it while he was still running.
Yes, that's funny. But no, it was awful. We just tried it. I'll try anything. And I'm actually, I don't know, but this mealworm is like a maggot. That's what that looked like. Whatever you showed.
It's actually it's a beetle larva.
And they're gonna
it doesn't make it better, but
but you're talking about they're gonna be in the United States now, everywhere.
Well, Europe has approved it. It's going to be a novel food item, so somebody will have like a whole shop for that.
Right, right.
Different cultures eat stuff. Like I knew I had a Chinese friend who would eat, grasshoppers, crickets, and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, no, I've had chocolate covered. Yeah,
a couple Chinese weddings where they serve things with the head still on them because it's lucky, and I'm just like, wow.
He's smiling at me. Yes.
And it's just I behaved. I was nice. I tried things, but
okay.
Yeah, people are like really excited about this because it's opening all kinds of new doors for.
Nobody's excited about this.
Other bugs.
Nobody's excited about this.
No.
What are they going to have an Hakuna Matata menu?
McDonald's in China, who has come out with that Spam burger with Oreo cookie crumbs on it. Yeah, that's a thing.
Gross.
And they maybe they'll serve it to their members, but just.
They're going to have mealworm jerky. I'll probably try that.
Ish.
Right? And you make them spicy. People eat things that are spicy. If you cover it enough sriracha,
Yeah. Did you have an extra story by any chance?
Yes, I did. In case you hated that one.
Yeah.
No, man, we really.
No, I like them, but yeah.
But you don't. Okay.
Today's have been a little bit more serious than usual.
It's been a little thin. Okay, well, here's something you don't know. That last week was the 100-year, and I'm so glad I had a third article just in case someone just needed one. But it's the 100-year anniversary of the magic trick where they saw someone in half. Mm-hmm. So there was a big thing on Facebook this weekend. Like magicians all over the world were doing that, and they were talking about how the guy who invented this trick. Illusionist P.T. Selbit. He put a woman in a box on the stage of London's Finsbury Park Empire and sawed right through the wood, and that was a magical classic. So everybody else has done that trick and upped their game, and David Copperfield put himself on there and has a saw blade that comes around and does that. And he says he's actually been by the blade a little bit because it's been off. I'm just thinking he's way too chill about that. Like
I would love to see all his failed attempts when he was first
Right?
experimenting with this magic trick.
That's his illusion. So
Hey, remember when he was David Copperfield because he was hitting on the women backstage and stuff? Do you remember that? That was like 10 years ago. Yeah. He was getting all those sexual assault allegations.
Well,
And he made him disappear. Yeah. What?
So true story. So my friend, of course, he's died. One of the funniest ventriloquists. Did you ever stumble upon Otto and George?
Oh God, yes.
The dirtiest, right?
Yeah.
So I used to open for him. We toured all over the place. And he was David Copperfield stalked him and gave him tons of money. Like he actually has one of his first dummies and he paid him like $10,000 for it. And then he bought him another one. So Claudia Schiffer was the wife, right?
Yeah.
Right?
He was ready
or wife or girlfriend. And Otto was known to say the C word. And I was with him.
Claudia?
And Claudia was there. We were Caroline's. And Otto's like so nice. Hey, hi, Claudia. How you doing? And he goes, oh, that cunt's here. Like he would just say things. And you'd be like, oh my God. And she's like, oh, shut up, George. He's like, fuck you, cunt. Like he would say, and I'm going, and I'm telling Otto, I'm going, I can't believe you. He goes, yeah, but it's George saying it. I go, but dude, it's just us.
Right.
That's it. I'm getting a puppet.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Anyway.
You made me spit my water out thinking about Copperfield stalking something. Like, how do you, an illusionist, like, how do you have an illusionist as a stalker? Like, that dude's in your mirrors and stuff. And
dude, listen, we did shows at Caroline's. He popped up.
Right.
Tim can vouch for me tomorrow or next
week. Yeah.
Tim Homey does it.
Call him now.
Because he knows so much. Like, you would go to, like, the middle of Pennsylvania and you might just be in some crap, like, one-nighter, and George Carlin's there. Like, everyone loved Otto. And it'd be like, George Carlin would, like, come in the back or something. I wasn't there for that. But my buddies had told me about it. They're like, it was insane, the amount of places you go. He literally had stalkers and fans.
That's awesome.
Like, yeah, Otto was great.
I mean, like, if they give you money, is that still stalking? Like,
well, no. Well,
Sugar
they want to
daddy.
be sponsored. We're all comedians. I mean, we're all comedians. Some more successful than others, right?
Stalk me.
What happens is, you know. So I just had to delete and block a guy that just came to every show. I'd headline in Vegas, him and his wife. They came to every show on the ship, and then he started really getting into the politics and saying, oh, you're a hermit and why are you staying inside? I'm like, dude, you know what? You're not even my friend. Right, you're just a fucking fan, man. Shut the fuck up. You know, and then nice. But it got more to this. All of a sudden I receive a Facebook message. Hey, hi, I'm friends with blah, blah. You don't know me. He feels bad. Could you unblock them? And then all of a sudden I got like 20 in that week from different people. Could you please unblock him?
And who's to say it's not him on all those accounts?
Dude, I'm like, what is wrong with this? Really, dude?
Right.
It was me. It was me.
So I said, so he popped up. I was on a poker page, and I said, congrats, the World Series of COVID, because my buddy was playing live in Vegas. And then he wrote something, the dude that I'm no longer cool with. And he goes, oh, always the negative with you, Jimmy.
Wow.
And then I wrote, fuck you. Everybody hates you. And then I wait.
Everybody.
So he sees it. And then I have to block his fake page that he's got his name spelled backwards now. And my wife goes, you got to be careful, honey. What if he shows up and he at the door and he goes to shoot you and goes, yeah, well, I hate you, you know, like, and I said, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. You gotta be careful. I was gonna say all my stalkers, they're fairly uniform. Melissa knows.
Yeah, he's
she's
got
seen.
type.
Yeah, she's seen a few of them. They're always like middle-aged white men, for some strange reason.
With degrees, right? They're educated.
Yeah, they're very
not
educated.
like
Yes, my stalkers are very educated. And when it comes to female stalkers, there is a certain type of them too. I've had a couple, and like it's almost like what you just said too about how they kind of fill in a blank that's not even there. By the way, I had one girl. This was years ago on MySpace, I think it was, and she had. I don't even remember what happened, but she got mad. I want to say I took a picture with somebody. It was just some girl or something. And she started saying, yeah, right. And then she had the, how dare you? she had this like weird thing where she started writing to me saying, she's like, oh, like you only prefer like thin model type women and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, clearly you don't know me. Cause I've always had a thing for bigger girls. I got teased in high school. They would call me Chubby Chaser. They would call me Chubby Chaser and stuff. Thick and tall. Those are my things. Thick and tall.
How do you feel about mustaches?
I'll bring the razor. Yeah. So,
but I'm the same way, Ace. If you ain't 180, you ain't my lady.
Yeah, right. And that's a starting point, by the way.
Yeah.
If you're 180, then you better be like 5'2". No,
I was gonna say, look, if like I'm 5'10", and
no, I've always and
I was 180. That would be hot, actually. I would be like really thin at 180.
So if you can't ride the teeter-totter with her, where you're up, it goes. Hey!
Yeah. No. Okay. So here's a creepy little confession. I like a woman that can take me. Like if we were fighting and she can pin me down or something, it's so on. It's so
can
hot.
take you.
Yeah. Like it's
I thought
so
you were about
hot.
to say like to take a punch. I was like, wait a minute.
Well, hey, she might be able to. You never know. If the chick can take me down equally, I'm game. I'm like, you know what? Like I don't know, like these little I can't break a nail.
Post a picture of
like,
your lady right now on the show.
She's so lovely and does not need nonsense.
But she's tall.
The most patient person on the planet.
She really is. She's super sweet.
She
She's
really
tall.
is.
Did she take you?
Oh, if she wanted to.
That's the key.
I've seen her mad, which is really rare, but I've seen her mad and my heart does drop. It sinks to my stomach where I'm like, uh-oh, she's pissed. Where I know I said the wrong thing.
There's
I'm at the age where I could take somebody, but I don't care enough right.
Only
you
in the
win.
back of a Jack in the Box. You take
No, man, I wouldn't even do it now. I'd be like, yeah, I'll take you. And like 6 months from now, after you've eaten like a little bit of ground glass every day, like I'm not. He's got stalkers, and then I'm like next level FBI surveillance. I'm like, who's bothering you, Ace? Who's bothering you? I'll be up all night. Just give me a name, and like I'll find out their address. Oh, really? You live in Anza?
Yeah, it is pretty weird.
People.
Yeah,
Leave
it is.
Big jail.
It is pretty weird that what is that saying about the like your level of whatever you are is measured by the strength of you or strength of your enemy, whatever. How's that saying go?
Your enemies aren't very strong, Ace.
No, but it's like
They're arrogant.
They're arrogant and they're intellectual, which is just like, well, cool. I guess I'm butting heads we're matching wits, I should say. But at the same time, yeah, it is creepy because if they're smart, then they're smart enough to still be around and I didn't notice. So, which is very creepy too. So yeah.
I don't do stalkers, but my boyfriend does. He gets skanks that wash up from high school, like 30 years later, looking for that
one
they got in high school. I guess he gave it to him real good. But like they're like, oh hey,
some guys have all the luck, huh?
You don't have to tell your girlfriend. And he'd be like, here's another one, and just hand me the email address, and I'm like, oh, it's on. And yeah, I've chased a few Tanya off Facebook. Oh fuck her, I don't know her anything. Tanya, slut.
Okay. Well, I will just
gone completely off track.
I was going to say, I don't even remember what the last story was about. So, since that was,
David Copperfield about the somebody in half, and it led to, stalking.
And led
They've
to
been
Tanya.
cutting people in half in New York for years. It's not new.
Yeah.
East
I'll give you
Coast.
an illusion.
Woosion.
Magical.
All right.
People, besides comedy, I actually am a magician. I know people don't know that. Like the other night in the bedroom. It's true. I pointed to the bed and told my wife, this is where the magic happens. She disappeared. So it was nuts.
My wife calls my dick the magic cast. That's so stupid.
A removable thumb.
I'm sending this to her. Ooh.
Well, it's funny is I have I don't have any magical skills, but I do have I do have a birthmark on my penis that looks like a racing stripe, and my girlfriend said, "Oh, is that why you're so fast?" Yeah. So that being said, what
it looks like that's freaking Ace. Oh, do you guys have Ace right next to you like that? Your hand keeps pointing because you're touching the audio.
Oh,
it looks like your hand is reaching into my area.
So if we all do this,
it's like freaking me out.
That's weird. Okay, this has been Espresso News with Melissa Greenberg. All right. So, an Oregon car thief stole her car and then our hearts. The man found a running vehicle outside of a grocery store and sped off, but quickly returned and with a car seat in hand, occupied with a 4-year-old who was left unattended in the back seat. The thief scolded the mother and threatened to call the police for child endangerment. The mother was shocked, and she seemed just as surprised as he was that she was a mother.
So, what's your name?
Diane.
Like me.
I named him after his mother.
I'm a mother?
Yeah. I have so many issues with this this woman. For starters, she's a bitch. Any mom who leaves her kid in a running car is a bitch. And I have no problem calling her that because she is one. Yeah.
She watches the show.
Yeah, I hope she does. I hope she knows. And in the end, I really hope that she's the one that goes to jail and he gets some kind of medal. So, Melissa, you're a mom. Something tells me that you would not leave your kids unattended in a running vehicle.
I bet she forgot the kid was in the car.
No, she didn't.
No?
Well, I take that back.
It's possible.
Hold on. Let me see. No, never
I think she asked the thief. She said, "Was my purse back there? Do you remember?"
Right?
Because I can't find my phone.
I can't imagine leaving a kid in the car. My kids are 7 now, and I was parked in front of the double doors of a convenience store. The cashier's right there.
Right.
And I grabbed something off the counter. They could see me, and they tried to come in. They were starting to panic. They could see me in the store. I was waving at them. They could see me, and they started to panic because that's just what they do. I can't leave the front of that, like go in the front yard. If they don't know, they can't see me, they're not having it. So I don't know how you leave a 4-year-old in a moving vehicle, like a running vehicle, and not have that kid freaking out.
Right.
Well, when I was a kid, my parents always left us in the car, honestly. And there wasn't a lot of room back there with the spare tire and jack.
Yeah.
Thank God I had that flare to play with.
Yeah, you joke about that, but I grew up in that generation that but it was funny. We were left in the car as a group of children because people cranked out babies.
Nobody's
like
stealing
crazy.
that car.
Yeah, no. They cranked out babies like crazy back then.
But nobody's stealing a car full of kids. This guy was like he probably has a bunch of kids at home, which is why he was stealing the car.
All right.
Like just what he needs, another mouth to feed. He was mad at her for that, not because it's irresponsible, just because, hey, don't give me more to do.
Jimmy, have you ever stolen anything with anybody still inside?
I have not stolen a car
Right.
with somebody inside. I have stolen a car. I
Really?
have stolen a car stereo many years ago. There's a statute of limitation. Right, and there you can't make this up. I get into the trunk of the car, and there is a brand new alarm system in the box the person never put in. I swear on my life. So I literally back then I had a Renault Encore, and I put that on my car, and I got this there. It was so funny. But anyways, here's the thing about these. To me, maybe it didn't really happen. Maybe it's like an episode of Jail Bait Car. Have you ever seen the show Bait Car?
Yeah.
So
that's good.
It's like, so they leave. It's like, I can't believe it's like, yeah, motherfucker, yeah, it was good. This little motherfucker, what are you doing in here, kid? Right? And he's like, yo, put on your seatbelt. We're taking you back to mommy. Like, what kind of shit is, I mean, this shit only happens in a movie. Right. I mean, at least you could tell the crook was raised well. Yeah. He brought him back. He brought him back.
Yeah, he was going through some stuff, and it's not his fault that,
That's a whole nother charge, though, if you take off and you don't bring the kid back.
Yeah. Well, but no, and that's the thing. He not only knew that, but it was that he knew he was breaking the law. But my favorite part was that he scolded the mom and told her, I'm going to call the cops because you left the kid in the car. Like, to me, that's brilliant, because then you stop and you go, if I'm ever to get robbed by any standard, I want that guy robbing me, because he's not going to hurt your pets. You know that he's not going to do anything. You know what I mean? He's got morals. He's like Robin Hood-ish. You know what I mean? Scott, really quick. Let's be honest. If you were in that situation and you look back in that kid and you went, oh crap, I got to take this kid back, and that kid told you, please don't, let's just go, I'm with you now. Like, would you take that kid with you? Because clearly his mom sucked.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? To remember the baby, she should have put something of value in the car.
Yeah, like her phone.
Yeah, like her phone or the purse. Right. Well, that guy did the right thing, so they both need to go to jail. It's like breaking into your house and then you shoot the guy and then he sues you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, but yeah, that's just a bad mom. That's just a very bad.
She was terrible. Mom. She was terrible. And I like how her excuse was that she was buying a gallon of milk. It's like, you weren't in there buying a gallon of milk. You were buying cigarettes, and you immediately changed your story to buying a gallon of milk. Yeah. Yeah. All of a sudden she was going to buy some. Yeah.
My Bible.
Yeah.
Well,
I needed to go get another one.
Right.
Let's talk about the real story. Melissa's like, yeah, I've done it. Like, I mean, Melissa feels pretty comfortable. Like, it can happen. No, I could see. No. Like, you drive away with your milkshake on the top of the roof, and Melissa's like, "Son of a bitch!" It takes the kid. What are you doing?
I've read stories like this where people have forgotten. I mean, kids have died in the summer. They forget the kid in the car.
Oh my God!
So, I don't. I don't know how it all went down. It's possible she forgot that the kid was in the car. She's still crappy.
No. She didn't forget. She didn't forget the kid was in the car. And you know how I know she didn't forget the kid was in the car? The car was running. That's how you know she didn't forget the kid was in the car.
So she figured she's just going to run in, grab a few things. But I can't imagine that 4-year-old not freaking out. And why you would do that to a kid and figure, oh, it's okay. She's obviously a crackhead. And yeah,
that 4-year-old didn't freak out because mommy does that all the time. That's the problem. Yeah. And
this is all bad. No, but I would never, ever, ever do that. And like I said, the one time I tried with at 7, and the 2 of them are in the car, and I'm just like, I could practically touch the car from where I was, and they were not having it. I'm like, okay, guys, come, let's get out. I'm not even gonna.
It was at a Jack in the Box when you just jumped out and had to do your thing. It might have been your car. Like, Mommy, I'm getting the Jack in the Box. That ain't a burger. That's a hot dog.
I heard the kid pulled the gun. The kid pulled a gun and demanded a Happy Meal. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, he's got the fake gun. Go on.
And it's funny. Earlier, Melissa, you mentioned like the guy that forgot his password to the Bitcoin. That kid can hold that over his mom's head for the rest of his life. Like, if she doesn't let him out, he's gonna go, yeah, remember that time that you left me in a car? And
I was kidnapped. Remember, Mom?
Yeah. You remember when I was kidnapped? Yeah, exactly.
No, I couldn't imagine.
Oh,
I understand mistakenly. Even though it's tragic, I know it does happen, but this situation obviously was not an accident.
No, it made me sad when I read this. I'm like, oh yeah, let's make jokes about this. This is good.
No, make jokes about her. Like, I just think that mom's a complete asshole. I really do, and I really hope that nothing happens to the guy. I think they caught him and arrested him, but I really hope that the charges are dropped for that particular situation because it's like I said, I get scared when I think of rob. I mean, I've been robbed before, and I have pets and stuff, and I get scared thinking about my pets when I'm away. Like, I'm like, you could take all my shit, I could care less. Anything, take the whole fucking house. Don't touch my animals. Don't touch. You know what I mean? Just leave them alone. Close the door on your way out. That type of thing. I have no qualms with when it comes to material things. They're just material things. And I know, Scott, you said she should have kept something of value in the car. I think the kid was pretty fucking valuable.
Yeah, I mean,
I know.
Not worth a Bitcoin, not a Bitcoin value, but
Yeah, leave your Bitcoin password back there. So
yeah, that's the type of mom that forget her password and it's her kid's name. Yeah.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Someone once stole my identity. They brought it back. That's how.
And it was
my career.
I was checking.
The credit score was better.
You ever try to check your own credit score?
Yeah.
And try to improve. I've been working on improving my credit. And Experian will like when you start asking, it starts asking you questions to verify who you are, and it's like, do you have a mortgage with this? I'm like, I don't know. Do I?
All right.
That'd be awesome. Like, no, but like obviously it's asking you questions that are related to things that you've done. So they ask which bank is your mortgage with, and I'm like, so I guess I'm out there with a mortgage somewhere.
I do want to mention, I know we haven't talked about the inauguration or anything.
We were about to, as a matter of fact, but go ahead. This is a good transition. Go for it.
So the best part of the last few days of this whole crazy thing we've been going through is, being Italian, I observe and I really see what's going on. This fucking Mitch McConnell is like, he's in the witness protection program of America, and he's just ratting on Trump left and right daily. You're like, what are you doing? Trump's sitting there going, I should have fucking killed this guy. Like,
should have left him in the car with the engine running.
I can't believe, because, of course, I'm not a Trump fan. I just can't believe, like, this McConnell, and all of a sudden he's at the inauguration. I'm going, you're at the inauguration? And then my wife says, which it's not racist, it's observant. She goes, that's his Asian wife. She goes, how would he have a fucking Asian wife? This racist Kentucky guy with an Asian wife. It just was weird to me. This guy's just, I'm learning a lot about this Mitch McConnell. How are her looks and stuff? Is she like? Well, she had a mask on. I mean, I don't know.
No, I'm think what I'm getting at is she like one of these?
She wasn't fat. She wasn't fat.
No, well, but I mean,
she wasn't ace potential.
No. But I'm saying, is she one of these girls that like he met overseas type of thing, and then like was a little more submissive type of relationship? Because I see that sometimes.
She was petite. She was a petite Asian lady who kind of looked classy. She didn't look like.
Maybe one of our viewers can tell us, and we'll comment.
Yeah.
Comment.
Yes.
Where are they?
Wife.
Well,
yes.
Well, I was kind of curious.
You have Asian viewers? I mean,
we have a dedicated, committed group of people who are very intelligent and would Ladies, go down the rabbit hole for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, the reason I had asked that though is because there's like, if he is that type of person, is she like one of those submissive wives that he met like overseas or something, and like she's just kind of like, I don't even know what he's talking
Changed her
about.
name.
Yeah. Yeah. So the reason I was saying that this is a good transition is because a while back we had the luxury of having Donald Trump recap our news stories today. I was just wondering if Biden was going to be able to recap any of our news stories today.
Who?
Joe Biden.
Well, yeah. Oh, come on, man. They tried to get rid of Mitch McConnell by leaving him in the back seat of that lady's car, but it didn't happen. It just didn't happen. Absolutely tremendous. I'm no longer here. Who knows? Out with the old and in with the older. Yeah. Apparently Jeff Dunham's puppet is now running the country. Anyway, absolutely. They had a farewell party for Trump. There was balloons, cake, and of course, a clown. But anyway. I'm playing the accordion.
Now YouTube is going to ban us.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They might think that we just gave them a platform, and so
Just like Pinterest.
There you go.
It was something that a lot of people, I guess, were watching, but I don't really watch this kind of shit. I barely watch my own shit. So all I do is play video games all day and eat pizza. So that's the story, and watch old movies anyway. So that's why you probably will hear a million old movie references from me, because I don't. I'm not with it, man. I'm old school, as they say. I don't know how to feel about our whole presidential circus that's been going on for quite some time. But since I was a little kid, all I've ever learned about politics was you get blowjobs, you drop bombs on foreign countries, you make a little money, talk a little shit, and that's pretty much how the whole system works. And you go like, oh, okay.
Down tonight.
Yeah. There you
Make
go.
a little money, talk a little shit, get down tonight.
Yeah. So, I'm one of these anti-political guys, but at the same time, it's like, what are you going to do? I heard.
We'll see how the next four. We'll see how the next four goes.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I'm trying to think of if there's any. There was people speculating stuff that, like, they were saying, oh yeah, it's not going to be long before he steps down, or anything bad happens to him, and then Kamala steps up. So I got to start.
Steps down.
Yeah.
Right?
I got to
Off at
start.
the Grand Canyon. Oh.
Kamala, the Ugandan giant.
Yeah.
The WWF. I remember when I first heard her name, I'm like, the Ugandan giant is the vice president of the world.
Dude, some of the best featured stuff was from the 80s. Randy Macho Man Savage had some of the best promos of all time. Just like, oh,
have you watched the documentaries?
Brother. Oh God, yeah, the old school ones. Watch Randy Macho Man's. Watch Jake the Snake's. Andre the Giant's. Did you see his?
Yeah.
Oh God, his was beautiful. I love the story where Randy Macho Man Savage came in and asked Andre the Giant if he could win a match. And Andre the Giant's like sitting there playing cards, and he's just, hey brother, do you think maybe this time I can get a win? Like I could pull one over on the top, and then Andre the Giant doesn't even look up. He's just looking at his cards. He says, "No, get out, no baby oil," and just keeps playing cards. Like, this is great, dude. Yeah. Those guys were they were geniuses, and those were definitely glory days.
The Rock.
The Rock. No, Rock is
the number one actor in the world.
Yeah, who saw that coming?
Started at the WWF.
Yeah.
He can sing.
Yeah. Well, he what? What'd you say?
You're welcome. He can sing.
That's a bit auto-tuned though. Yeah.
Oh,
The,
what, Moana?
You're welcome.
Moana?
You're welcome. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's slightly on the attitude side, but he can hold a tune. I remember during the wrestling days he would do a couple music bits, so he probably could hold a tune. And
he's
then,
kind of awesome.
No, I
The
like
Rock's cool as can be. I
Yeah.
mean, my buddy is in it's called The Young Rock. It's the story of the little, and they filmed it in Australia. And my buddy, oh my God,
Did he open for you?
No, he's an actor.
He opened the door for me.
He's an actor.
Jimmy knows everything.
Maybe, Ace, I can set you up with the Rock's sister. She's a big woman. Her name is the Boulder.
The Boulder? That's so funny.
Hey, the Boulder.
The Boulder. It's so fun. I used to always do that I'd do the whole Rock bit and then call this guy the Pebble, the Boulder.
Yeah.
Son would be a chip off the old block.
The chip off the old rock. No,
Then they
my
had-
wife knows.
Fixed in it.
But anyways, my buddy's in the Young Rock, and he had to fly to like Perth, Australia to film. And I go, dude, I don't want to fly to New Orleans for a show and wear a mask. I go, you 18 hours with a mask? He goes, dude, brutal. He goes, it's insane. I mean, that's a whole other thing.
I think I would just wear a plastic bag over my head for an 18-hour flight. It's pretty much the same outcome, I think, in the end. They should just drop all the oxygen masks down. I think that might solve the problem. They're already there. Yeah. So I wanna go around the table and thank my guests that were on this week: Jimmy Della Valle, Scott Wood, and Melissa Greenberg. My name's Ace Guillen, and this has been Cover Stories. Karate!